moving on to another Eastern Conference team, one that we just mentioned, the New York Knicks. My 3 points are pretty simple, straight to the point. I'm not really going to harp on it too much. Just no injuries, and that kind of ties into Tom Thibodeau running his guys into the ground. I think he needs to, lay off the gas a little bit, let these guys play normal minutes, and when the playoffs come around, they don't turn into dust. They don't crumble into ash, because that's kind of what we saw happen last year. So no injuries on that front. Everyone needs to stay healthy and not be run into the ground. Trade Julius Randle. I want to make it clear. I think Randle's a good player. I just don't think he's going to work in this system on this team that they have.
He'd have to be a center.
He would have to be a center, and I just don't see it happening. I don't see it. His style of play, there's too many mouths to feed. There's only one basketball. I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think that I think they won't trade him before the season starts. I think he'll start the season there, and they'll see what happens. But I really do think that they need to go after a big man, a really true big man. I know they have Mitchell Robinson, but another guy that can't stay healthy. If he stayed healthy, he'd be great, but he can't. So I think they need to get rid of Randle, see what you can get for him. Obviously, don't just trade to trade. If you can't get anything for him, hold on to him. I get that. But if you can get rid of him, I think that's the best thing for them to do. And the last one is everyone just buys into the team. Everyone buys into team basketball. It's New York basketball. We saw it last year. Guys like Josh Hart, OG, all these guys, it seemed like they bought in with Jalen Brunson being the captain officially now. I think there's an understanding that, he is going to run the team. But, with guys like OG, Bridges, Hart, DiVincenzo, there's a lot of guys on this team that are really good ball players and probably on other teams can be more successful or stand out more than they would on the Knicks. But if they buy in and this is team basketball, we can really accomplish something special if we buy in. I think that could happen. So, yeah, I think they have a really good structure there, a few tweaks, and just buying in. I really think that's all it takes for them.
I agree with points 1 and 3. I think the injuries thing did kill them. Obviously, they shouldn't have lost to the Pacers.
Hand. Yeah, that was a fluke.
It bombed them. No disrespect to Pacers.
No disrespect. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They deserved it. But Jalen Brunson did get hurt. So both things can be true.
Yeah. And OG was playing on one leg, basically. So partly when he was there. So
100%.
Injuries is huge. Health is key. Just like, with Embiid, the best players don't need to get hurt. And guys buying into the team is huge because Josh Hart played his role. OG played his role when he was healthy. Isaiah Hartenstein, when he was there, played his role. Everybody was perfect for what they needed to do. But the last point in trading Randle, or the second point in trading Randle, is kind of like where I jump sides on this a lot. Just because he is a 3-time All-Star, just because he's proven that he could be an impact player on the floor, I just think he needs to stop taking all those damn threes. You don't need to do that. You're a minus player from there. And you play into what teams want you to do.
Right.
So that's the only thing. But I think you mentioned buying in for the last point. If Randle buys into the role, because even though he's an undersized center, or he would be in that lineup, because I'm thinking it'll be Brunson, Hart, Bridges, OG, and Randle.
That's
like
what,
I get it's small. I get it's undersized, especially if you're playing a team like Boston or Philly with behemoths at the center position. I get it. But if Randle can be this rebounding nut and buy into this defensive side of the ball, more invested than usual, and understand I'm not going to put up 28 a game. Understand that I'm probably going to be a high teens to low 20s kind of guy. I think that's what the Knicks could use out of him, because who are you going to get? We keep talking about this for each team, trying to trade for a guy or trade players. Trae Young makes sense for the Lakers, sure. And if a guy I don't think he would, but Tim Hardaway Jr. ends up in Boston or something like that, maybe it's an upgrade, sure. But for a team that's trading away an all-star player, I just really wonder who you would get.
Right.
At the 5 spot.
And that's why I feel like that's a difficult position to go after right now. So you don't want to just trade to trade. Losing Hartenstein hurts because that would have been another nice depth piece at the center position, but there might not be anyone out there. Karl-Anthony Towns is the perfect guy to put on the Knicks, right? But in this universe, I don't think he's going anywhere. So if he was available, I think that would be the guy they should go after. He'd be perfect, but I don't think that'll happen.
Tough.
Tough.
On to the next.